election.
Last I didn't. I missed out. No.
Yeah, yeah. Last time we spoke last year, we were knee deep into the Republican primary.
Oh God.
Now, it seems like ages ago, right? Good Lord.
Oh.
We're gonna have Trump back. You had said that Trump was toast last year in September because of all the court cases, and what a difference 14 months make,
Wouldn't
huh?
that wouldn't that have wouldn't that have wouldn't that have seemed logical at the time? Like, hey,
Of course, it
there's
wasn't. Yeah,
I think when we're gonna look back on this, as I've looked back on it a couple of times, Kamala Harris was the beneficiary of Joe Biden's, whatever you want to call it, ineptitude,
yes.
his lack of this, his lack of that. She never won a primary. She wasn't qualified. She didn't win a primary. She made a bad choice for the VP. She should have gone with Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania, because then she would have carried Pennsylvania. She would have carried the other states. Shapiro was a more dynamic speaker. He had a better story. I think he would have been a better choice at VP. But the fact remained, she didn't win a primary. She didn't win a single vote. And you can't put someone in that position, 103 days out, and expect them to run a campaign this way, where now she's running for the highest office in the land. I don't think it's a woman can't be president thing. I don't think that's the case. I think you just put her in an unwinnable situation where she didn't win a primary. No one outside of the Democratic fanatic space knew who she was. They didn't know anything about her.
I disagree with one thing you said there. Like, I agree with everything but one thing you said. Like, her not being qualified. I think she was qualified to do the job because, I mean, again, when you're a senator, an AG, and all that, obviously we've seen people get that job for doing less than she's done in her career.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not we agree that we like her policies is a whole different argument. But in terms of being qualified, hell, people like myself hate Hillary Clinton. She was the most overqualified candidate in the history of politics. She did virtually every single fucking job imaginable before, running for president in 2016. That being said, though, everything else you said there is spot on. Everything said there is spot on.
And as far as her not being, I'll re-argue the lack of being qualified for the job. Where as much as Hillary Clinton was probably overqualified for the job, we've seen other vice presidents who were equally as unqualified. I seem to remember Mike Pence. No one knew who the hell he was. I seem to remember Dan Quayle. I seem to remember guys like that who were equally as unqualified. And tell me right now, would Dan Quayle have won the presidency? No. No one in their right fucking mind would have voted for Dan Quayle as the president of the United States because he was a moron. He couldn't spell the word potato.
Potato.
So I mean, it's just I think the problem the Democrats have is they don't have a shit talker. They don't know how to do it right. They don't know how to shit talk properly. Trump does. Trump and his people, the Trumpsters, the MAGA people, whatever you want to call them, they know how to shit talk. And unfortunately, we live in a society now where we're not interested in intellectual, argumentative debate anymore. We're interested in lock her up. We're interested in, I'm going to call someone a bitch. I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to get my mug shot.
Or fuck your feelings.
Yeah, fuck your feelings. We're interested in style over substance. And the Democrats don't have anyone like that. Yes, is Congress a shit show when Lauren Boebert is playing grab ass at a Beetlejuice production, and when Marjorie Taylor Greene, who looks like a hangover on a Friday morning, or the ugly girl you wake up next to after a bad night of drinking, that's what Congress has become right now. And the fact that Matt Gaetz couldn't even have his own appointment to Attorney General last more than 5 minutes before a bunch of teenage girls decided to come out and say, oh, by the way, that's what we're interested in now. We're not interested in substance. We're interested in style. And unfortunately,
here's the question, Steve.
Trump fits that bill.
But here's the question, Steve. Is that a Trump era thing where once Trump, because look, he's going to be president the next 4 years, okay? He'll be gone in 4 years. After that, do we return back to the norm, or is this going to be what politics will be moving forward? That's the question.
My biggest worry is not 4 years from now. My biggest worry is July 4th, 2026. It's the 250th it'll be the 250th birthday of America.
Okay.
That's my worry. My worry is that in the next year and a half, something is going to happen. Something bad is going to happen that's going to really show Americans where they are. I don't know what that is, but something is going to divide this country in a way that
even more.
Yes.
You have any like ideas that could be the case? I mean, not to put a finger on it exactly, but an idea.
You can't have a discussion about Israel being the one state in the Middle East, right? You can't say, if you're a Republican, you can't say, hey, we're behind you, Israel. We're behind you, Israel. And then in this country, you've got people marching around streets with Nazi flags hating Jews.
Yeah.
Because you can't have one without the other, right? Israel's not going to become a Palestinian state. They're a Jewish state.
Yeah.
You're either on the Jewish side or you're not. And unfortunately, there's going to be a reckoning at some point here about whose side are we on? Because, all the crazy MAGA types and all the crazies out there carrying around flags. What was it? Columbus, Ohio, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, a bunch of guys roaming up and down the streets. You can't say you're pro-Israel and then have that. That doesn't work the same way, So there's going to be a reckoning there. I don't think we're done anywhere near close with the immigration thing. I don't think we're anywhere even close to having a resolution on how this border thing's going to go.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're really close on, I don't know, 5th grade math and 5th grade economics when you realize that what a tariff really is not what the Republicans are telling you what tariff really is.
The way I see it, this is the will of the people. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. This is the will of the people. He will be my president next 4 years. I respect that, and we'll move forward and see what happens there.
But will he?
Will
he be president all 4 years?
You think he might?
Let's be honest. We took out Joe Biden 3 years in. If you come up with the idea that Donald Trump can't do the job, hey, because he's losing his mind. Okay, well, here comes J.D. Vance. Here comes that guy who might be worse or better. We don't know, but certainly Trump chose him for a reason.
Trump chose him by the advice of his son and Elon Musk.
Okay, so what does that tell you? If at some point in time Trump decides, or his people decide, hey, he's gone cuckoo, he can't do the job anymore. Yeah. Well, we can just do what we did with Joe Biden. We can do what the Democrats did with Joe Biden, just push him out the door. And by the way, not to turn it back to sports, if Joe Biden was so inept, and if Joe Biden was so absolutely out of his cotton picking mind, and he was so god awful at what he was doing, then can someone please explain to me how ESPN keeps Lee Corso on the air?
Now, for the record, I haven't watched College Game Day like consistently in years because I work on Saturday mornings, so right. I'm not engaged. And quite frankly, I haven't watched any studio shows really in inside the NBA in years. Just because
they're awful. I'll save you the trouble. They're all awful.
Yeah. I mean, I just lost interest in them, to be honest. Yeah, I watch podcasts, so my immediate intake has changed through the years, and of course, last 15 years. So, but yeah, he's old. He's like 85, right?
He's 90.
What?
He's 89.
Jesus.
He's 89 years old.
I didn't know that. I did not know he was that old.
He's 89 years old. And,
I'm giving him credit. 85.
They literally have to remind him why he's putting on the Buckeye hat when he does the game day shows at Ohio State. They literally have to drag him out there, like Kirk Herbstreit drags him up to the stage, like he had to drag his dead dog out there a few weeks ago. Whatever. So it's just ridiculous. It's time for Lee Corso to go to sleep and go away for a little while. They did this. Years ago also with Lou Holtz, who ironically sounds a lot like me right now with my messed up teeth. He sounds like Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz and I have that in common, except for the southern accent. But you got to put Lee Corso away. But to get back to the Joe Biden thing, like if he's that inept, and we were saying how, I remember during the campaign, they were saying how Trump would trail off and Trump would, go on these weird diatribes or whatever. Okay, so let's instill that. Let's put that out there that Trump can't handle the job anymore, and we have to put him to bed. Okay, so we're gonna go 25th Amendment on him, just like we did with Kamala. Well, we didn't even go 25th Amendment. Kamala just took over the campaign. We didn't throw Joe Biden out of office.
Nancy Pelosi is a freaking animal.
Right. So we didn't go there, but now, okay, we're going to go 25th Amendment. Trump can't handle the job anymore. So here's J.D. Vance. Have fun with that for the next whatever how many months.
There's definitely deterioration in Donald Trump. There's no question about that. I've been watching a lot in the last year. Look, I'm not a Trump guy at all, but I see the appeal. I understand the appeal.
I do too. I get it.
Watching him in 2016 in the Republican primaries. He was a star. Like that dude, you saw the appeal there. And you watch him now, just on delivery, there's definitely deterioration. Massive deterioration.
Yeah. So I don't know that he's president in 4 years. I don't know that. Now, what happens to what has to happen is that there's got to be a meeting of some kind at the Democratic headquarters. Someone has to come up with a better game plan of how to speak to people, because you're either going to be a shit talker or you're going to have a civilized conversation, but you can't do both, because Kamala tried that, right? She tried being the civilized conversationalist, but then she winds up on Oprah and she winds up on The View and she winds up on Howard Stern. You can't do both. You have to be either.
I think people say, well, Kamala was too woke, and I disagree with that, because Kamala Harris ran the most as centrist you can get centrist campaign I think I've ever seen, to a detriment. Like, she didn't talk about wokeness, she didn't talk about trans, she didn't talk about any of that stuff. All that shit is bullcrap. She did not talk about any of that stuff on this campaign whatsoever. In fact, she was probably a little, even for my taste, a little too corporate and too much towards the donors, and only going on certain shows and only doing certain interviews and whatnot, which I think honestly hurt her. I don't think her not going on Joe Rogan is why she lost the race, but I do think her going on Joe Rogan would have helped a little bit, at least in some perception.
And as far as the whole woke thing is concerned, I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing people talk about woke. Read a book. Read a fucking book. That doesn't make you woke. It makes you intelligent. And right. I'm sorry that we have this aversion to intelligence. I'm sorry that being around smart people intimidates you, but go fuck yourself then.
But the word's been co-opted, though. The word's been co-opted.
It has been. It has been by the same people who are telling you that being woke is bad. That's what it's being co-opted by. It's being co-opted by people who tell you that it's bad. Read a book. That's all. Pick up a magazine, pick up a book, read something besides your playbook on whatever it is you're reading. Be challenged by something. That doesn't make you woke. It makes you want to be better. That's all.
And that doesn't mean you have to agree with it either. It's just opening your mind to what's going on.
Right.
Part of the reason why I love doing this podcast is because I love having people from different backgrounds, different persuasions, different political affiliations, because I want to learn. Even if I disagree with you, what makes you tick? What exactly is it that makes you have this position on this one issue or multiple issues? It's healthy. It's very healthy to learn that.
It's supposed to be what we wanted to be, what we were supposed to be. We were supposed to have great debate. We were supposed to have great intellectual debate with great people who came together with different ideas and different ideologies and different presentations, and different mindset, a different approach to things. And we turned that into, I don't agree with you, you must be trans.
Yep.
How do you go from there to there? How do you go there? You know,
Because they want to. Because
I remember during the Colin Kaepernick thing, right? Remember?
Right.
The Colin, the Colin Kaepernick thing. It didn't bother you. There was one side of the argument that, well, he shouldn't do that because it's un-American. There was the other side of the argument, well, he's very American. I was the guy, you remember this when you did my show back in the day.
Absolutely.
I was the guy who said, how about this? How about don't do the anthem at all? That way,
we both said that. We both said that they should follow the college football
follow the college football rule.
Yeah.
Don't do the anthem at all. That way nobody gets to do anything. Kaepernick doesn't get to protest. You don't get to have to deal with it. And you don't have to pretend you're boycotting the league when you clearly weren't boycotting anything. You don't have to do any of those things. And by the way, isn't it ironic that no one batted an eyelash when Nick Bosa came on television with a Make America Great Again hat during a post-game interview on Fox, and he's wearing his Make America Great Again hat. No one batted an eyelash at that.
And for the record, it didn't bother me whatsoever.
It didn't bother me. Because you know what I've learned? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what Nick Bosa thinks about politics. I don't. He could have gone up there with it didn't bother me when Taylor Swift showed up at Kansas City Chiefs games, and then everyone was well, Taylor Swift, she's just a liberal. She's a fan of Travis Kelce, and she's banging Travis Kelce. Who gives a damn about her politics?
Exactly. And she wants to be a liberal, so let her be.
I don't care. I don't care if she wants to swing off of treetops. I could care less what she wants. I'm not a fan of her fucking music anyway.
A couple songs here and there, but I'm not a fan.
Right, a song or two, whatever. Move on with my day.